And Jurassic League issue number 1 is written by Juan Gideon and Daniel Warren Johnson, art by Juan Gideon, colors by Mike Spicer, and letters by Farron Delgado. And the story begins as a ship rockets to a prehistoric Earth and lands where a couple discover the crater with a hatching egg. All we see next is the man reaching out for a tiny blue hand. We then cut to years later as we see the defender of Growtham City, Batwalker, on the trail of a psycho dino that seems to be killing for fun. This leads him to a cave where he discovers various dead dinosaurs and humans, which the humans had been displayed like an art project. Batwalker then comes face to face with Jokerzard, where the two get into a heated battle in which Batwalker mentions that Jokerzard has a familiar smell. It's during their battle where it seems like the Jokerzard may triumph, until Batwalker sees a little boy and is reminded of the death of his parents as he realizes that Jokerzard is the one that indeed killed his parents. The enraged Batwalker then powers through and beats Jokerzard bloody before turning his attention to the child and yells at him to leave. It's when he turns back that Jokerzard is revealed to be gone, and Batwalker then burns the corpses. He then makes one more attempt to get rid of the child, who doesn't leave, and so Batwalker takes him. We then move toward the shoreline as the people are suddenly attacked by Black Mantisaurus, whose intent is to capture the humans. However, the villain is suddenly taken aback by the presence of who I'm calling Aquasaurus for now. The two are now locked into battle, but we are not sure who won as we shift to Trimascura, where we meet an anthropomorphic Triceratops, Wonder Dawn. Wonder Dawn is found by her mother as she stands by the shoreline, telling her mother about her visions. Her mother then takes her and shows her the Tomb of Ares, where she informs Wonder Dawn of their history and then preps her to leave the island as she knows her destiny lies on the mainland. Wonder Dawn then gets on a pterodactyl and rides away from Trimascura. Our attention is then drawn to Metropolis, where we meet the baby dino from the beginning, now called Supersaur, as he is helping build a protective wall for his people. It's then that he senses danger as the barrier is punched through, with two dinos stepping through. Those dinos being Giganta and Brontosaurus, and their goal to collect human bodies. And straight up, the hardest thing to do for this video thus far was reading that entire summary without laughing. Because, I mean, this story, it's insane, right? I mean, you've got a version of the Justice League and they're all anthropomorphic dinosaurs, which just that premise alone was enough to make me read it, because it reminds me of the shows that I watched growing up as a kid, shows like Street Sharks, or as a better comparison, Extreme Dinosaurs. And so it's very interesting to get to see this world where, you know, evolution is taking a slightly bit of a different path, where dinosaurs have become intelligent, I mean, even on other planets. And also what I'm kind of just reminded of is that live action Super Mario Brothers movie, where they talk about how, you know, the world of the dinosaurs kind of got put into this other, like, you know, pocket dimension, and they were allowed to kind of evolve there. I mean, that's the feeling that I get here. And honestly, that's why I'm enjoying it. I mean, you got the names of the characters, and more specifically the names of the cities, which are just absolutely hilarious and great word plays on, you know, their traditional counterparts. I mean, Growtham City, Trimascura, and most importantly, Metropolis. I honestly didn't know how to do that Metropolis one without doing that voice, you know, just because of the rah portion, you know. And yes, I know I'm probably putting a little too much emphasis on the Metropolis part, but you know what? I do it all for you for entertainment. And then when you got the Jurassic League members themselves, you know, they are very interesting choices for, you know, their dinosaurs. I actually found an interview with one of the writers, Juan Gideon, who talked about how he kind of, you know, came up with the idea for some of the superheroes and their dinosaur counterparts. Like, you have Superstore, who's obviously our Superman for this story, and he is a Brachiosaurus. Because Brachiosauruses, they're big, they're strong, but they're also very gentle creatures. Much like Superman, who commands a lot of power, but is still a very gentle character. And then you have Batwalker, aka Batsaur. I'm not sure which one it is just yet, because in the interview I read, they referred to him as Batsaur, but Jokerzerd called him Batwalker. So I'm still not quite sure which is the correct name just yet, but I'm going with the one that was said in the comic. But he is an Allosaurus, which makes sense for the Batman archetype character, because Allosauruses are actually cousins of the T-Rex, you know, and they are apex predators in their own right, much like how Batman is an apex predator in Gotham City. And then when it comes to the Aquaman type character, who didn't get a name drop in this issue, but I'm calling Aquasaur for now, and I'm guessing due to the aquatic nature, he's meant to be a Mosasaurus. I mean, he does have that long beak-like face, and he's in the water. And then when it comes to Wonder Dawn, that one actually kind of threw me for a loop, because she's a Triceratops, so I thought maybe Wonder Tops would have been, you know, the more obvious choice to go. But when I read that interview with Juan, and he said that she was originally meant to be a pterodactyl, and the cousin to a pterodactyl is a pteranodon. And so I'm sitting there thinking in my mind, okay, maybe this is the name of the character as she would have been had she stayed in the pterodactyl pteranodon family, and maybe just forgot to update her name by the time the story, you know, was being drawn. But we have more than just the Jurassic League to talk about, because we have some villain characters in this book. Particularly there's Jokerzerd, who was easily the most standout of the dinosaur based villains. And from the minute he spit acid, I was just like, yeah, the Dilophosaurus. You remember in Jurassic Park, that dinosaur that kind of like, you know, did the thing with its neck and spit its acid at Wayne Knight and then ate him in the car? And it's just such a funny concept, because I'm sitting there thinking to myself how this character's origin could have played out in, you know, this Jurassic World setting. I mean, there's no ace chemicals around for him to fall into a vat of acid, and he obviously existed before, you know, the little dinosaur grew up to be Batwalker and whatnot. So I do find it very curious how this Dilophosaurus became the way he was. And there was something about his character that also kind of reminded me of the Indominus Rex from Jurassic World, particularly that scene where Owen was like looking out on the field, and he's telling Bryce Dallas Howard's character that the Indominus Rex isn't killing for meat, she's killing for sport. Because, you know, when Batwalker goes into the cave and he's seeing, you know, all of the bones and stuff, it's like, you know, these aren't just bones, they're trophies. And then you have other ones in the book, like you have Black Manosaurus, which I'm pretty sure was made up just for the book, because I have never in my life heard of a Black Mantosaurus, which I will say, because of that fact, that, you know, that character kind of pulls me out a little bit, because, you know, I'm so used to this dinosaur motif, and, you know, all of the other dinosaurs are, well, dinosaurs. But I guess if you want Black Manta in the story, it's the best you can do. Though personally, I would have just made a whole new character and maybe done like a, I don't know, a megalodon or something. I mean, I get it. Aquaman basically took the Mosasaurus, which is, you know, the coolest aquatic dinosaur you can get. So, you know, I get it. You gotta make some sacrifices. But then at the end of the book, you also get Giganta and Brontosaurus, who, you know, Brontosaurus is supposed to be the Bizarro version of Supersaur, and, you know, she's Brontosaurus. Though I will say he looks a bit more like Parasite. And then Gigantosaurus, which I'm guessing is a T-Rex. At least that's what it looked like to me. And then, of course, there's the plot itself. So, you know, what's really getting this book going is the fact that all of these different villains are collecting or trying to kidnap humans. And it was Giganta at the very end of the book who said that they're doing it for Dark Embryo. Who's Dark Embryo? What do they want with the humans? I've got no clue. Also do gotta wonder, given the fact that we're in, those prehistoric times and we do have cavemen walking around, if we might not get Vandal Savage. Because I was sitting there in my mind, I'm thinking, this would be a perfect opportunity to have Vandal Savage as still Vandal Savage, just, his caveman form. Oh, and then of course when it comes to Batwalkers, new little sidekick, yeah, he's gonna be some kind of Robin. But all around, I'm digging it. When it comes to the art, I think this book looks really good, and we're dealing with, again, prehistoric times and everything's just, big and exaggerated and colorful. The Jurassic League characters are bulky and, look like they have real weight to them. I can just imagine any of these characters running and, like maybe small little tremors on the ground as they're doing so. And there were things in the design that were really cool to point out. Like the biggest one I saw was when Super Sword was, helping build that wall for, his people and stuff. It looked like the Fortress of Solitude. And I know I normally don't touch on lettering, but I gotta give a special shout to Farron Delgado for his letters on this book, because his caption boxes, his sound effects, they were all standout and fantastic. Everything looked very primal and added to the tone. And overall, it's a fun book. Just pure, straight, crazy fun. It's out there, it's silly, it is something I feel like I would have read in the 90s. And with that, I'm going to score Jurassic League issue number 1 at 8.5 out of 10. So Jurassic League issue number 1, what did you think about this book? If you've read it, I would love to hear your thoughts. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. And if you like this video, I'd love it if you'd smash that like button, share it with some friends, subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and ring that notification bell for more comic book content. And if you're wondering what to watch next, consider one of these 2 videos. Alright, take care, have a great day, and as always, stay geeky.